From prehistoric to present, my name is Ethan. Welcome to a Saturday edition of Creature Guide Live Daily News. I will be handed random articles which I have not read, and some will be funny and some might be more serious. So, right into the first article. All right, so the Dodo.com boat guide comes across crocodile playing with a delicate toy in the river. If that's not abject play, I don't know what is. Dusty Rose is a formidable 11-foot crocodile with bright green eyes and a feisty disposition. For decades, she patrolled the Dantry River in Queensland, Australia, fiercely protecting her turf. Okay, the Dantry. So, when David White, owner and operator of Solar Whisper Wildlife Cruises, saw Dusty Rose gleefully playing with something the other day, he stopped to investigate. Sure enough, the enormous croc was having a little fun with a feather. Huh, that's interesting. I've never heard of a crocodile having fun with feather. Maybe digesting some, but outside of that,
I had no idea what that was gonna be.
the aim seemed to be to get it perched delicately on her snout. Then, with wide-eyed excitement, she wore it. Anytime the feather floated off of Dusty Rose's snout, she emphatically moved her nose to get it back on. She played with the feather for a full 18 minutes. Wow, that's actually quite a long time. Over and over again, feather on, feather off. If that's not object play, I don't know what is. So let's see. Mm. White, who's spent almost every
Of
day,
all times not to have any video.
yeah, for the past 28 years on the Dantry River, pointed out that many people don't see this goofy side of crocodiles. In Queensland, crocodiles are a protected species known for their patience and stealth. They're still protected? That's kind of shocking. I thought maybe there was already crocodile hunting. Considering they're not endangered anymore. I think there's somewhere around 2 to 300,000 saltwater crocodiles now in Australia. They used to be pretty rare, but they've rebounded quite a bit. Though they can't breathe underwater, they can hang out beneath the surface for up to an hour waiting for a meal. Crocodiles in northern Australia typically spend their time moving between rivers, swamps, and the coastline looking for food or a mate. This depends on the specific crocodile and where it's hanging out, but especially those along the coast, they do oftentimes hang out towards the end of river tributaries or certain swamps, as well as hanging out in the open ocean. If threatened, and the same goes for Southeast Asia saltwater crocodiles. If threatened, they're not afraid to use their powerful jaws to protect themselves. Wow. Okay, this is interesting. Dusty Rose is a prime example of an Australian crocodile. That's one of the largest and oldest females in the area. White estimates she's nearly 50 years old. Dusty has had to challenge other females who came too close to her lifelong mate, Scarface. A lot of animals being named Scarface. Lions. I think there might have been a grizzly bear. Um, Possibly a tiger. This is interesting. She also once fought off a potential suitor who wouldn't leave her alone, since Scarface is her one and only. She's not scared of fighting. It's unusual for females to hit the males, so she was a very brave lady warrior.
I don't know, maybe she was watching an Al Pacino movie?
Maybe. Though White had never seen Dusty Rose playing before, he said that doesn't mean it never happens. In fact, based on her enthusiasm over the feathers, she's probably played with toys before like any other animal does. One person commented on White's Facebook post, "This is not a crocodile. This is a cat with midnight zoomies." Okay, well, this is good to see that there's a playful crocodile, the Dantry River, but still would probably eat people. Okay, well, let's head on to the next article. Okay, so from the Cowboy State Daily. After siblings cannibalized, Grizzly 1063's last cub faces first winter alone. After its two siblings were cannibalized by a male bear earlier this year, the last surviving cub of famed Grand Teton Grizzly 1063 separated from its mom unusually early. The cub, named Miracle by fans, is still surviving and facing its first winter alone. So let's see. Is this him? Wow, he does look very young. So it's Miracle. Recently appeared near a road in Grand Teton National Park. Miracle's two siblings were killed by a male grizzly back in May. Sheesh. Oh, he looks healthy. Miracle, the last surviving cub of famous Grizzly 1063, has had a rough year. Let's see. The cub separated from its mother at an unusually young age in June. In July, Miracle was trapped by wildlife agents for hanging around the busy Culture Bay area of Grand Teton National Park. The cub was set loose in a remote area of the park, the National Park Service reported at the time. Wildlife agents didn't directly handle the yearling during the procedure, so its sex remains undetermined. So let's see. All right. Okay. So what? Sources who talked to Cowboy State Daily about the cub referred to Miracle as both he and she. Why? I think they mentioned it was a male earlier, unless they don't know. But anyway.
That was my guess, they just didn't know.
uh, Now, at the tender age of about 18 months, the young bear is facing its first winter alone. It's very possible it couldn't make it at that age, but still quite young. Fans are hopeful that Miracle will find a suitable hibernation den and make it through until next spring. Grizzly cubs don't typically separate from their mothers until they are at least age 2. That means Miracle would have been on track to spend another winter with its mom and split from Grizzly 1063, also called Bonita, sometime during summer 2026. What? Oh, wait. Okay, yes, they would have split next year. It's not known for certain why Miracle separated from Bonita early. Some speculate the split might have resulted from the trauma of Miracle's two siblings being killed and cannibalized by a male grizzly in May. It's kind of odd. I would think that would possibly create a tighter connection. Large male grizzlies will sometimes kill cubs. Yes. Let's see. While it's unusual for cubs to split from their mothers that young, bear experts previously told Cowboy State Daily that it's not unheard of, and the cubs sometimes survive to adulthood. So this was less than a week before they were found dead.
Did that say sometimes the cubs will survive until adulthood?
Yeah.
Isn't that kinda how you told me it always works?
Wait a second. 18 months seemed kind of small. This isn't the first time that wildlife photographers and grizzly watchers have cheered on a Grand Teton cub that ended up alone too soon. Similar hopes were held for Spirit, the last cub of Wyoming's beloved Grizzly 399. Spirit was roughly the same age as Miracle is now when Grizzly 399 was struck and killed by a vehicle south of Jackson in October 2024. Spirit was reported fleeing the scene of the accident and hasn't been seen since. There was some expectation that Spirit might emerge from hibernation, but as spring wore into summer, many observers said it was probably time to give up hope of ever seeing Spirit again. So did Spirit vanish?
Did Spirit go on the run because Spirit did something Spirit shouldn't have done?
Yeah, maybe. He turned into a horse. Um, Bill Bill Beverly works at Lake Lodge in Yellowstone National Park. When he has time, he likes to travel to Grand Teton. So Grand Teton is just south of Yellowstone
Yeah.
National Park. He was much more aggressive than that. But where 1063 and Miracle live, he told Cowboy State Daily that he recently came upon a bear jam in Grand Teton when Miracle appeared close to the road. Beverly stopped to watch Miracle and take some photos, said the young bear appeared to be energetic. However, he's worried that Miracle isn't focused on gobbling down enough food to put on fat for the looming winter. He was just running around almost playing like a cub. It got me concerned that he's not eating really well. He looked pretty big, but I have a feeling that could be mostly fur. About this time of year, grizzlies have their noses down and would be eating as much as they can.
Well, does that look bad, or is that not him?
No, I think it's him. Yeah, but this was also back in May.
He looks sad.
Yeah. Okay, so is there anything else? Hold on a second. He previously told Cowboy State Daily that he blames the deaths of Miracle's siblings on the Park Service for hazing the then intact Grizzly family away from Culture Bay. The hazing likely separated the cubs from their mother, giving the male grizzly the opportunity to strike. Park Service reported that 1063 and the cubs weren't separated during hazing operations. On Friday, Mangelson told Cowboy State Daily that Miracle has a decent chance of making it alone. I think since Miracle has been orphaned from her mom since early summer, she has a better chance than average to survive the winter. She has likely learned a lot about being alone, I would guess, but she is still pretty compromised without her mother to help going to find or make a den. She has pretty limited knowledge about winter and hopefully will rely on instinct for digging or finding a den. Okay, so sheesh. Okay, well, yeah, hopefully, um, Miracle's able to keep growing and make it to, maturity. But, let's go on to the next article. It's quite unfortunate. I don't know, I'm really kind of wondering about that hazing. So from IFLscience.com, largest eagle to ever live had a 3-meter wingspan and ate moa for lunch. This must be referring to the Haas eagle that existed in the region over 11,000 years ago. Well, technically, I think much more recently. So the moa was a giant 7 to 8 foot, sometimes even recognized as taller, but 8 foot tall bird they used to inhabit Australia. And it's a bit of a question as to why they went extinct. I think some guesses have speculated that it wasn't even people that sent them to extinction because of their supposed low reproductive rate, taking their eggs and killing them as well. The guess was that would have quickly eliminated them, but other things are showing that that might have not been the case. So, appearing in New Zealand sometime between 700,000 to 1.8 million years ago, everything about this now extinct beast of a bird was supersized, from its hooked beak down to its tiger paws sized feet and talons. In fact, it's the largest eagle species ever known to have lived. With a wingspan of up to 3 meters or 9.8 feet. That's about 1.5 times as long as Michael Jordan is tall. And the females weighed a whopping 17.8 kilograms or 39 pounds. So yes, that's a big eagle. For reference, the largest living eagle species, the Steller sea eagle, weighs between 5 to 9 kilograms or 11 to 20 pounds. So let's see.
Jeez.
Yeah, that's a massive. That's the house eagle. The massive individual.
Wait, can we blow that up? No.
So it's not just its size and talons that would have made Hasegel an intimidating figure. It's what it did, eating Moa. Yep,
Hold
those
on, let me
massive.
let me do something.
It's about 10 centimeters. So I'm guessing this is well over, 2 feet, right on the shin bone and the main foot.
What the hell does huh? What the what did I just do? There you go. Sorry, everybody.
Okay. Hasegel was built for this job. However, with a 2021 study having determined that he used a combination of tactics we see in modern day eagles and vultures to get a hold of its giant prey. It's thought that it first used its massive talons to knock over and damage Moa, which is more eagle-like, before delivering the killer blow in a more vulture-like way with its beak. Yeah, contrary to popular media, vultures are active hunters as well. It tends to be portrayed, or they tend to be portrayed as just simply scavengers. There are also different species of vultures that have distinct feeding patterns, meaning that there's certain vultures that will only feed on the bone marrow of carcasses. They will not eat the direct flesh. And so what they will simply do
So they, like,
is
suck out the bone marrow?
um, more of like pluck it out. But yeah, well, first, yeah, they how far up do they travel? At least like 2 to 300 feet, and then drop the bones on a certain hard surface,
Oh, okay.
and it cracks. They're quite intelligent. And there's a freaking moa. Casts like this don't make you, feel bad for the animal. You're like, "Well, you know what? You're so ugly. I'm not, mad that he took you out." So let's see. To do. Oh, okay, so well, I was mentioning still how long ago they were existing within Australia, but technically, yeah, they've at least, the moa, possibly the Haas-eagle has only been extinct since the, what, 14 or 1500s, and, yeah, it still doesn't look like people took them out. So, I don't think it taught us very much, at least from that study. I think it's still a much older theory.
I
But
think
anyway,
you explained how it was getting bone marrow out of things.
yeah, let's head over to the next article. Okay, so let's see what we have here. Let's see, from Earth.com. Fossils show different species of woolly mammoths were interbreeding, creating hybrids. Guessing this is different from that other time? Let's see. Yeah, we already did this. Okay, here we go. So, from whiskeyriff.com, that's interesting. Yellowstone elk runs into the side of a car while trying to escape a wolf in hot pursuit.
Oh,
Oh, this is interesting. Wait a second. I think this happened like a few years ago and somebody reposted it. Let's take a look. Let's see. Okay, so Matt Fluke of Idaho Falls, Idaho, was looking for a place to picnic with his family when the car behind him collided with an elk who shot out of the woods in an attempt to cross the road. Boom, right into the side of their SUV. Of course, there's nothing special about hitting an animal with your car. Just about anybody that's ever edit people that's ever heard a country song has hit a deer or a time or two. No. Plus, this particular driver wasn't even going very fast. But this elk wasn't just crossing the road, it was running for its life. Right after it slammed into the car, knocking itself down, a black wolf emerged from the trees just seconds behind it. I didn't look at my dash cam video until I got back to where we were staying at. Originally, I thought it happened behind that car. We pulled over for a second, saw the elk on the road and the wolf with it. Naturally, they pulled over to watch nature take its course. It's unclear if the elk was able to get up and run off before the wolf got to it, but it looked pretty stunned from the impact. And where there's one wolf in hot pursuit, there's generally more behind it, so the odds for elk calf aren't great here. I've also seen something similar occur with um, kudu and Cape buffalo trying to get across certain roads in certain large game reserves or national parks over in South Africa or Botswana. But I think this happened like much earlier. So let's see. Hmm. Where is he? No. Where
Ow. Oh, what flew off of him?
yeah,
What was that? Look, right here.
I have no idea.
It
Well, yeah, I think that happened a few years back. I don't think that's new. Okay, let's go to the next one. I'm glad I'm glad the wolf got some food, but, feel bad for the vehicle. I mean, it comes to a point where it's like, I can't really feel bad for the elk because it's like, feel better for the wolf. I mean, he knew exactly what to do. It's like, "Wait a second, I'm running out of energy. I know wait, there's a road up here, so I'll just, he'll get hit." Or or he'll run into it. That was funny. From Earth.com, movement in the wild, why dogs follow paths and cats roam. So let's see. Watching a dog pacing the same path in a yard. What? Okay. No. Okay. Researchers tracked 1,239 carnivores from 34 species over 10 years. Wow. Across 6 continents, GPS collars mapped their steps, creating the largest data set of carnivore movement ever assembled. The comparisons made one split stand out. Canids, so wolves, African painted dogs, coyotes, you reuse travel routes far more often than felids, referring to the cats. I guess this makes sense. Canids tend to travel a lot more than felids. Felids, if usually they're not hunting or marking certain territory, they tend to be just simply sleeping, but it also varies depending on the species. Animals or cats like lynx tend to consistently be on the move. So let's see. We found that carnivore species use space in fundamentally different ways. Members of the dog family appear much more structured in their uses of space. On average, they rely more heavily on favored travel routes compared to members of the cat family. Wolves, foxes, and coyotes carve paths through their territories and return to them again and again. These repeated routes, now called routeways, act like invisible highways. Lions, bobcats, and leopards behave differently. Their paths scatter across the landscape without the same structure. The difference runs deeper than habits. Canids rely on routine pathways. Felids prefer flexibility. This discovery challenges how scientists once described predator movement, replacing the old picture of random wandering with structured lineage-specific strategies. For decades, makes you wonder if that wolf, as we just saw in the last article, has created a certain trail or the pack itself to push elk or mule deer into the road. It's just a theory. For decades, textbooks presented movement as random, much like particles bouncing into gas. That view shaped predator prey models and disease predictions. The new findings rewrite the rules. Structured routeways show up in many carnivores, making movements more predictable than once thought. This is just really interesting. So it seems to be that it has been confirmed that both cats and, say, wolves, um, they all have their own distinct pathways. It's just that, the canids are using them much more often. It's probably much more clean, whereas cats have to be, a bit more, I guess, judgmental on where they're going. This shift means conservationists and ecologists need fresh tools. Route-based movement changes how species interact with prey, mates, and pathogens or diseases. It also shifts how humans should plan wildlife protection. This story begins millions of years ago. Dogs and cats diverged 41 to 51 million years back. Their bodies followed different paths too. And so this is somewhere around the early Eocene epoch when this occurred. Let's see. So cats developed floating clavicles and highly flexible shoulders, which allow sharp turns and bursts of agility. Well, we also have canids like the dingo, which has the most flexible shoulder joints of any species of canid. So that isn't necessarily a good characteristic in how to distinguish a group of mammals. It's like saying that What is it? I'll go back to it later. Dogs evolve stiffer joints, better for endurance and straight line travel. Let's see. We suspect that this split reflects deep evolutionary differences in how these species navigate and find their way around. I think a better one would have um, been simply dogs or canids in general have great stamina, whereas cats have much better explosive strikes of energy, but they don't last very long. Not so much when it's talking about the shoulders. Canids possess superior olfactory abilities compared to felids. Yes, this is true. So this is talking about the smelling adaptation for the canids. It is stronger than cats. However, it's not that cats don't have a good sense of smell, but it's not the same extent as felids, and definitely not to the same extent as certain species of ursid or bear.
Oh, that's what I was gonna ask you.
But yeah, I just wasn't mentioning them. Potentially helping them establish and remember preferred travel routes. It looks like these different navigation strategies have developed over millions of years since dogs and cats last shared a common ancestor. So you could have had it back in the Pleistocene epoch or the Ice Age, even further back. But let's look at just the Ice Age. Animals such as dire wolves over in different parts of the United States, especially in the western area, would have probably used very similar pathways to gray wolves of today, as well as saber-toothed cats like Smilodon fatalis, probably having somewhat of a certain type of a um, pathway-like structure to lions or tigers. Problem is, it's a really big guess as to whether or not, or say questions, Smilodon specifically hunted in packs or prides. Looks like animals such as American lions might have coexisted in prides. So let's see. Scent adds another layer. Wolves and foxes mark paths, then revisit them with help from powerful noses. That memory of place reinforces repeated travel. Cats rely more on stealth, vision, and flexible responses to their surroundings. So let's see. Cognition could also matter. In lab studies, dogs often perform better than cats in memory and navigation tasks. I think it depends also on the cat. Maybe if cats don't, they didn't necessarily grow up or just weren't trained to have that sort of an ability. It's like, well, if I don't smell the tuna or the next door neighbor's mouse, it's like I just can't find anything. But though I'd say that probably does make sense to an extent. But um, that's just my guess. If that advantage extends to wild relatives, it may help explain the reliance on fixed paths. Though wild cats, I mean, you see like with different populations of cougars that are also adjacent to urban areas, they tend to have a pretty good idea of where they're traveling in between the city, managing highways, streets.
Did you say they travel long distances?
Oh yeah, that too, depending on where they are. Now, one's over an urban area, especially if they're massively cut off. But the reason why they're cut off is they're just massive areas of highway that they have to get across. And do they have the courage to finally leave that area? But the thing is that it's just a hard one with this memory thing. I wouldn't call it a great comparison. So let's see. Cats, in contrast, appear to make decisions more on the spot, adjusting quickly to each situation. Interesting. It's almost like it's comparing it with different types of people um, when it comes to this. But um, I'd say that also matches more with, like with what I was saying earlier. So canids tend to have more slow twitch muscle fibers, which gives them much more stamina, whereas cats tend to have much more high twitch muscle fibers, which gives them explosive movements. Maybe it has something to do in contrast with their decision making. So, Justin M. Calabrese, a senior author and head of the Earth System Science Research Group at Cassis in Germany, emphasized the strength of the evidence. Given the inherent um, heterogeneity in such a large global data set, the magnitude and consistency of these differences is striking. However, we were careful to check the lineage specific differences persisted even after for controlling for many potentially confounding factors. When researchers focused on 9 landscapes that hosted both cats and dogs, the gap grew even sharper. The split held up even after removing variables like vegetation or human disturbance. Oh, well, okay. That it looks like it's a, much more accurate difference than what it first appeared. So they were taking out those different obstacles. So predictable paths carry risk. Poachers can exploit known routes. Roads cutting across those paths can kill animals more often, yet predictably also creates openings for protection. Wildlife crossings and conservation zones can be placed where animals are most likely to move. Fagan and colleagues also point to wider effects. Movement influences how diseases spread, how predators find mates, and how prey respond to risk. Workshops at the University of Maryland now connect to these findings to new mathematical models of ecological dynamics. This research, okay, so let's see. So ultimately transforming into the world's biggest comparative carnivore movement data set involving 177 collaborators around the world. Yes, it was a very interesting project. Okay, so was there anything else? Let's see. So canids carve highways into their landscape. Felids move more loosely, making flexibility over fixed routes. And I mentioned that earlier. Um, that's it. Okay, well, this was really good to see with the different carnivores, and but it was more of giving an emphasis on domestic dogs and cats. Um, so, still a bit of a question as to other canids. Anyway, let's move to the next article. Okay, so let's see. The dodo paddleboarder sees clumps of feathers in water and realizes it's breathing. She was unable to fly. It was a sunny, warm day in Southwest Florida last month when an unsuspecting paddleboarder suddenly made a frightening discovery. She spotted a ball of feathers floating in the water from afar, and as she paddled closer, she realized it was a wild bird in desperate need of help. The osprey, so this is a bird of prey or raptor, was entangled in fishing line and her feathers were waterlogged, so she was unable to fly. And yes, they are native to Florida, in fact, much of the eastern United States. Yeah, it's you would mistake that for being a dead animal. Here she is. Okay, so let's see. The woman was heartbroken to find an osprey wrapped in fishing line. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Which had become tethered to the surrounding tree roots. It was unclear how long the bird had been trapped, but the paddleboarder knew time was of the essence to save her life. She scooped the bird out of the water and instantly called Crow for help. I wouldn't call it Crow for help, but okay. Well, let's just, I was referring to the bird. I don't know this organization. So let's see. Yeah, it's a full-grown adult too. Pro volunteer Phyllis Herman rushed to the scene in a rescue boat and began freeing the bird from the mangroves as soon as she arrived. Once untethered from the tree, she placed the osprey in a rescue box and shuttled straight to Crow's Wildlife Hospital for the second phase of the rescue. At Crow, we removed the line and treated her for minor injuries and dehydration. Oh, wow. Yeah, it's still got a lot of life in it. I've never seen that type of bag used for the birds. I think also, especially when I was younger, so used to, seeing in shows like Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom where they would just get a sack and then stick the, porcupine in it or stick the snake in it and then just wrap it up. I was like, I think that's going to be a little warm, especially for the porcupine." Anyway, let's see. While treating the osprey, Crow's veterinary team noticed something concerning about her breathing, which provided them with more insight into what she had gone through before being rescued. When listening with a stethoscope, auscultation, we noted increased respiratory effort and harsh lung sounds, possibly from inhaling water while struggling. She's currently on systematic systemic antibiotics and is in good body condition. So we expect she'll make a full recovery. Yes, she looks very healthy. Looking eyes, too. Thankfully, the osprey was found just in time by a compassionate paddleboarder and taken to the best hospital for her needs. While she's still on the mend, the folks at Crow are confident she will fully recover soon and return to her home in the mangroves. Oh, okay. Well, that was interesting. We bumped into an older green-eyed crocodile, saltwater crocodile over in Queensland, Australia that was playing with a feather, and they were talking about that yellow-eyed osprey, which seems to probably, I'm guessing, will soon be re-released into the wild. Okay, well, moving forward from phys.org, humpback calves need 38 times more energy after birth than in womb. Hmm, this is interesting. So, these two are over in the Hawaiian breeding grounds. I believe that occurs over in October. The energy required for newborn humpback calves to grow after birth is 38 times greater than what they needed inside the womb, according to research from these three. Let's see. This study addresses a key piece of the energetic puzzle in estimating the cost of being a humpback whale in the North Pacific, the cost of growth. While previous research has shown that these whales must grow very large in a short period of time, the actual energetic expense of that accelerated growth remained unknown. Research revealed that calves require 6 to 8 times the daily growth energy of an adult whale, and they achieve 30% of their total lifetime growth in less than their first year of life.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that's quite incredible. In fact, more than 60% of a calf's crucial energy needs for growth occur within the first 150 days of birth. Humpback mothers must support lactation while fasting in Hawaiian breeding grounds and then traversing back to their feeding grounds in Alaska.
So, like, she's on a diet during that time?
Yes, massive fasting um, occurrence. And hopefully, the krill and fish stocks, when she reaches back to Alaska, are also in full swing as well. Because depending on when she arrives, or let's say she's too early or just on time, but let's say they haven't reached the area yet, it can have quite an impact. So this exposes the mother calf pair to significant vulnerability when ocean conditions threaten the mother's energy stores. The study found that a mother's ability to produce a large, healthy calf, one more resilient to starvation and environmental stress, hinges directly on her own energy reserves. Smaller females with lower energy reserves face trade offs that constrain how often they can reproduce and how much they can invest in their offspring. Yeah, so she's entirely relying on her fat reserves at this time. And um, so let's see. It's not hitting me how long that they stay specifically in the Hawaiian region. By quantifying the energetic demands of growing big and strong, we provide crucial insight into how. Okay, moving forward. Yeah, it's a big guess as to how many humpbacks there are right now. I think it's a guess as to there might be somewhere around 30,000 to 40,000 humpbacks. Now they're also spread out amongst different populations. Okay, good. So let's head on to the next article. Okay. So from AOL.com, woman puts camera on bird feeder in her yard to see who comes to visit. So let's hope it's not just a bunch of mockingbirds. Which, don't get me wrong, mockingbirds are great, but um, actually, I wouldn't say they're as common as people make them out to be, especially in different parts of southeastern United States. And also, the reason I mentioned that specific bird is that it's the Texas state bird. So let's see. Thanks to people like Lisa, known as Astrazzle on social media, we get a rare chance to see them up close without disturbing their natural behavior. Over the years, Lisa has captured thousands of incredible moments in her yard, from majestic poses to hilarious expressions and quirky behaviors. Many of her photos have been featured on Board Panda before. Now we're drawing together the very best of her work in one collection. Scroll through. Oh, okay. Any video? Anyway, this is a very observant raven. He's like, "You just gave me seeds. I was expecting, like,
Yeah, he looks annoyed.
part of a squirrel or maybe some unique fruit." This guy would even take money. He's so, greedy. He's a very wise animal. Ravens are crows, they're very wise. Okay, these animals are, I think they have, like, a very high IQ. Literally winking at the camera. It's like, "Hey, don't tell anybody, but I'm taking this whole thing." Part of a,
That's just funny. It's cracking me up to look.
yeah, he's going to sell them on, some website. So let's see. What is with all these distinct you know what? This is very unique. Most pictures you see of birds and, at bird feeders or animals in general, it's kind of plain. This is a unique society. So what do we have here? A mourning dove? Oh, it's not mentioning it. Oh, yeah, doves will do this. They'll take in a few seeds, and then they'll just sit in the bird feeder. Sometimes you'll even see, like, the mourning dove couple because they do mate for life. And here they are. But that's, the water, containment?
Oh, it's food. You see at the bottom.
Yeah, it probably is. Of course. Him. This must be close to
Is
the
that a
ground.
chipmunk?
Yeah, it's chipmunk. So this must be towards, possibly a bit north. You don't really find chipmunks down in Texas.
Is it shoving the things in its cheeks and that's why it looks like that?
Yes.
Oh, really?
Should've laid an egg in here. Must feel extremely safe in the region if it were to do that. I don't know who specifically this is, but it's very curious. I know you're watching me. I've seen you before. Do not post me on Animal Wild. Looks like a relative of the red-winged blackbird, but he has orange instead of, like, the red and yellow stripes you tend to see. They also will go after sunflower seeds. Sunflower seeds kind of help with, boosting carbohydrates when it comes to the birds, but the thing is that it's only, a sliver of their feeding behavior, so they really want to be going after, different species of insects, but it does help, especially during the winter or fall months, especially in areas where there isn't good quality habitat, and, this is a good booster for, feeding. Okay, there's the couple.
Is this like a Lady of the Tramp eating?
Maybe. Okay, now it's very stern. Like, "You've been posting me on Animal Wild. Why? Explain yourself." Okay, here we have a European starling, which if this I'm guessing is taking place somewhere in the United States. They should not be here. They are a major invasive species. Actually cause quite a bit of damage to infrastructure as well.
Really?
Even, yeah, different crops. So they're native to different parts of Europe, but not here.
Why does it look like he was wet and then shook himself off?
Yeah, it seems that way. It's like, I did nothing, and you posted me on Nat Geo Wild. Anyway, um,
Oh my god. Somebody needs to stop eating.
sheesh. Yes, he's very, poomy or poofy. It's not fat, just feathers. Okay, so wow. That looks like a grackle, long-tailed grackle bird. Oh, it's a certain species of kingfisher.
So
I
these
don't
are different feeders.
Yeah, I don't believe this is not a kookaburra. I don't think kookaburras in, North America. But there are kingfishers in the United States. I don't know who specifically this is. Wait, how many pictures were there?
I don't know.
Yeah, okay, he's giving the back. Jeez, that's pretty bold.
It's beautiful.
Okay, he's I think it's another grackle. Yeah, they are very serious. You have some,
Thing looks angry.
yeah, he's either has some issues or he's trying to impress a mate. I'm trying to wonder what he would be eating to make that. It yeah, don't purchase, like, those little tiny round seeds, those are really bad for the birds, and they tend to mix them with, like, a minor amount of, sunflower seeds, that's a really bad mix, and you can also I think it can also get kinda moldy quickly, also, when it comes to contact with rain, whereas sunflower seeds by themselves, you don't really have to worry about that. Oh, there's, larvae mixed in with here,
Well, that was nice.
mealworms. Looks like we have a house finch and, it's not hitting me. It's not an American robin, it's somebody else. Whoa, okay. Hey,
What is that? Oh, it's a squirrel.
yeah, all of these animals look shocked. That's interesting because, even over, like, there are, like, trail cameras in different parts like Yukon, Alaska, even animals like bison, elk, grizzlies just on the move, they notice the trail camera, they're like, "Whoa, what is that?" And so he's just shocked. He looks like he was stuffing his face,
And
and then
it had a flash.
yeah. Wait a second. Look at dog. It's like he's got
That's
one,
fantastic.
he's a Labrador retriever. He's just in his squirrel reincarnation. Okay, he was a dog beforehand. Okay, so another dove. Might be a white-winged dove, but I'm just guessing. Yeah, doves will literally shove other birds out of the bird feeder, despite their, somewhat, portrayed, calm nature. This is a red cardinal that's just also giving the
Refusing to look at the camera.
giving the waste, and, he's not very happy. Okay, maybe they are American robins.
They look like cotton candy.
Here he is. I was wondering when Punxsutawney Phil would show up.
Is that a groundhog?
Yeah, it's a groundhog. This large squirrel. It's gonna eat the whole thing. Whoa, wow, okay, that's impressive. These are I think that was a robin you might have seen earlier. These are cardinals.
Ooh, that's beautiful.
That's the starling again.
Oh.
That's either a different picture of the same individual, but here's the thing, grackles tend to just look like this. They're always quite stern. I wonder why. It's like, "Don't tell anybody." Of course. I knew he wasn't really going after the seeds, and instead he was like, "No, I need a true protein supplement."
Some powdered sugar.
Yeah, it's true. Well, I'm glad he got him off. Sheesh. Here's a cardinal. He's very plump.
Yeah.
There's a blue jay. Seems quite relaxed. I think it's another American robin. Yeah, this is the, I think, pileated woodpecker, I believe.
I was wondering if it was a woodpecker.
Different species of birds, despite ones like the woodpecker mostly focusing on different species of insects, while creating or drilling into trees for specific types of beetles or especially beetle larvae. They will supplement their diet with seeds if given the chance. It's not hitting me what this is. It is a native species, possibly a relative of the red-winged blackbird. Okay, this is another species of woodpecker. It's not hitting me. There's over 15 different species of woodpecker in the United States. Another cardinal.
That mouth is full.
Looks like something you put on a Christmas ornament. Yeah, not you. You're sheesh. I don't know. I mean, depending on what you're looking forward to.
Maybe it's just mad it didn't bring him anything else.
Seems that way. It's like, why did you not put more moths? Anyway, this guy's like,
Throw something in my mouth.
maybe, or he's alerting everybody the doves are about to smush everybody. And well, there we go. I did not, I had no idea he was there. Gee. Okay, now he just looks guilty. I don't know why. Okay, what's with this one? Is it a genie? Maybe.
Oh, don't ask me.
Guilty cardinal? Like, I just had to. I think some house benches. This weather seemed to be a bit plucked. Starling again. Another mourning dove. Another blue jay. Okay, now it's like he gave up. Almost like he was trying to intimidate somebody earlier. He's like, you know what? Didn't work. Maybe he is right. Maybe I should just carb load and just stop with the moths. Yeah, I think you should. Yeesh, what happened? Now I missed that sternness. Like it was the Grackles, thing. Yeah, Blue Jays always just look kind of, laid back. Okay, next article. Woo! That was a lot of bird pictures, but they were very unique.
Here we go again.
Okay, cheeseburger.com. 25 wholesome wildlife memes for when your concrete jungle needs feral funnies. Okay, so Oxo does a face? I don't know. I don't belong in a tank. Just kidding. This is awesome. Yes. Yeah, it's pretty accurate. No, they did not evolve from sauropods. They actually evolved from very small carnivorous theropod dinosaurs during the Jurassic, so over 160, somewhere between 150 and 160 million years ago. And many still like to put out the theory that chickens evolved from T-Rex. That is not true. Or any large species of theropod. Rear attack light unicorn. Oh, what?
I don't get it.
I mean, I know he's stinging, but I made light bulb inspector. That's horrible. Poor moth. Okay, who do we have here? The cat distribution system gave me this big orange kitten. If you needed to pick me up today, cat is no longer considered endangered animals, so we did something right. What? Yeah, it is. Okay. There's only like what, 1,800 of them maybe in the wild? Beauty tips for green skin, page 88. Are tongue extensions right for you? Best shoes for wet feet. That's weird. Okay. When you're feeling a little down, someone close to you does their best to cheer you up. Yes, cheetahs. Cheetahs are great. Oh my gosh. He's seen something. Hey, listen, I know you're busy, but I wanted to just tell you that you're not an idiot, okay? So please stop saying that about yourself, okay? Drive safe. I hope I didn't make you late. I was really worried that it was going to be that consistent, I'm here to refer to you about your car's extended warranty that pops up on so many things. This was actually kind of nice. I've got a bad feeling that's not what actually happened. This is true. He wanted somebody's chips. Okay. Breaking news, Steve does a super big stretchy stretch. The what is I think it's a clawless otter. So this is a distinct species of otter, and they do not have claws on their front feet. So let's see. You swerve to avoid a squirrel. Unknown to you, the squirrel pledges a life debt to you. Your darkest hour, the squirrel arrives.
I'm glad I don't look at these ahead of time before I give.
The duck has 2 legs. Uh,
I don't either.
Making my way downtown, walking fast. Oh gosh. Oh, this was photoshopped. That was terrible. Anyway, I guess they're not reindeer. I've seen this. No. Horrible Japanese secret deer fish. Ugh. I'm guessing they have thirsted up on base to where they're standing. Okay, Monterey Bay Aquarium. Realizing that squid have an ink sac, an internal shell called a pen, so we're living just a few short evolutionary steps away from columbography, and honestly, there goes the rest of today.
Calamagar calamar
Okay, anyway, absolutely losing it over the third bird trying to pretend like it isn't eavesdropping.
That's just
Okay, little horned owl. It's a cute little thing, though. Sometimes it's hard to remember that owls are incredibly dangerous predators seen by cultures throughout the world as ill omens, especially when they look like toasted marshmallows. Bats have sparkly Bats eat a lot of shiny insects. This has some unexpected consequences. Okay.
I don't get it.
I don't know. Quote by a forest ranger at Yosemite National Park on why it is hard to design the perfect garbage bin to keep bears from breaking into it. There is considerable overlap between the intelligence of the smartest bears and the dumbest tourists. I call ducks human motorboats because they remind me of a both a human and a motorboat without actually being either thing at all. Okay. Same energy. This is a fat thanks. Let me see. When your least responsible friend gets a dog.
That's good.
Northern cardinals, the romantic birds that mate for life, travel together, sing before nesting, and feed each other seed beak to beak during courtship. Okay, yeah, that's what they normally do. Okay, let's see. Looks like possibly a bunch of red-eared sliders. New York's hottest club is the Fallen Tree in Prospect Park Lake, where 32, yes, I counted, turtles were sunbathing this morning. That's pretty common.
I always find that interesting that they do that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they're pretty sensitive too.
They don't separate, they just all pile together.
Okay, well, I don't know what to make of that. I mean, some were quite interesting, some were there wasn't any, effort put into that. The duck thing and then the horrible chick with the seal of Isis feet. Anyway, let's go to the next article. Okay, here we go. News.mangabay.com. Northern Cameroon's lions are reproducing, but concerns remain. So we're over towards Western Sub-Saharan Africa. Wonder where this picture was taken. Seem like pretty healthy young males. GPS tracking of 10
How
collared
can you
lions,
tell that?
mane popping up, and just they, yeah, even their distinct like facial structure, but especially that slight bit of mane that's appearing. In Buba Nihida National Park, or Baoba, has confirmed multiple lionesses with cubs indicating successful reproduction of Cameroon's highly threatened northern lion subspecies. Lions are not very common over in Cameroon. You have to reach places like actually, even Angola, they're not too common, but, once you hit Namibia, Botswana are definitely larger populations. I think Namibia has some around 4 to 500 lions in the country, and then Botswana has a little over 1,100. So, let's see. Conservationists warn many cubs may not reach. Okay, obviously. Okay. So, with only about 60 to 80 lions in Baoba Ndigida and fewer than 1,000 northern lions left in Central Africa, the park is seen as crucial to the species survival and recovery. So, let's keep going. So, it's in the 220,000 hectare or 544,000 acre park in the country's far north. All colored lionesses have had cubs, signaling successful reproduction. In August 2024, Cameroonian biologists and rangers from WCS and the Ministry of Forestry and Wildlife fitted 7 lions in the park with GPS collars. A year earlier, 2023, local conservation NGO BED had also collared 3 lions, bringing the total to 10. The collars ping the lions' locations 4 times a day via satellite, enabling conservationists to monitor the big cat's movements. We can proactively prioritize those areas for patrols, ensuring protection from poachers. BOR helps the Cameroonian government plan prepare anti-poaching patrols. Despite the birth of cubs, there are still concerns about their survival. Paul Funston, director of the NGO African Lion Conservation, who assisted in the collaring, warned of the likelihood that not all the cubs would survive to adulthood. I actually hadn't heard of African lion conservation. It's like I tend to hear of or tend to think of, different conservation organizations like Panthera. That's a big one, but there's so many different trusts and, conservation organizations. They keep popping up. So, seems to be a, healthy female lion.
Why can't they have that tracking collar smaller?
I don't know. I think they're pretty light, though. So now known as Miss Bauba for her striking beauty, she is the 5th lion colored in Bauba Nahida National Park. It is difficult for lionesses to raise cubs. So let's see. Data also highlights ongoing population dynamics that are vital for understanding a lion's prospects, with young males dispersing long distances across the landscape, making use of larger regions outside the national park. So let's see. The core lions, those that remain within the park and have established territories, are staying within their designated areas and displaying signs of interspecific fighting, indicative of territorial behavior. The search for the safest place and the largest amount of prey available explains the fights and wounds experienced by lions living in the center of the park. So I think it's the same female. Yeah, she seems pretty healthy.
That thing just
Bit
looks
thin though.
massive.
Yeah, but I think it's very lightweight. Um, she does seem a bit thin despite her fur looking quite decent. If you ever look at certain lion populations over, especially even in the Serengeti, where there's at certain times of the year, depending on where you are, a large amount of game. Once you hit areas or times like the dry season, so let's say, generally right now it's towards the end of the dry season, but over in the South Grass Plains, over in the southern part of Serengeti National Park or the Serengeti ecosystem, you can have it where in certain years, their fur is just deteriorating from the lack of food that they're retrieving, as well as just the harsh, certain harsh dry seasons. But in this instance, she seems pretty healthy. Lion collaring in Balvanita National Park is part of an effort to return the park to its former splendor, following the success of elephant collaring after the pachyderm population was decimated by poachers from Sudan. Yeah, but Sudan's on the other side of, um, Africa. Like, it's towards, northeastern sub-Saharan Africa, unless this is something correlating with this project. Unlike the more famous lions of Southern and East Africa, Cameroon's lions belong to the northern lion subspecies. The subspecies has lost most of its original range and is highly threatened. Okay, let's see. Yeah, African Wildlife Foundation. Um, let's see. The Lion Recovery Fund estimates about 80 lions live in Baba Nigihada out of Cameroon's total population of 270 lions. Wow, I forgot it was that low. Or I guess I didn't even see recently that it was that low of a population. But considering the park's small size, Funston puts the number closer to 60 lions. He suggested the need for a new population survey, given that the last one was carried out in a 2015 survey. Let's see. To support these management initiatives and to provide standardized lion monitoring, the Lion Recovery Fund awarded WCS a $350,000 grant over 3 years in 2020. So here's another female. This looks like towards possibly like the beginning of the dry season.
That looked awfully thin.
Yeah, yeah, she's probably getting enough food to go by. Since I've seen much worse deterioration on the fur, but she does look somewhat thin. So let's see. Don't want to get into much of the negativity.
Oh, what are those?
I don't know what breed of cow this is. They're farmed in much of Eastern Africa, but besides that, this is good to see that they're having cubs over in the Baobab region over in Cameroon. So they must continue to increase in population. So let's head over to the next article. Also, I'd like to know a bit more about the elephants in the region. It was weird. They mentioned Sudan. I was thinking they were going to mention something about the elephants over if there are any in that specific park or another part of Cameroon. Anyway, back to the dodo. Neighbors notice mysterious pig roaming their lawns and spend a month winning him over. They say it takes a village to raise a baby, but in East Petersburg, Pennsylvania, it recently took a village just to catch one. Oh, I see. Wow. Who is Wilbert? It all started over a month ago when a group of neighbors in Bent Creek, Pennsylvania, spotted a stray pig running through the streets. The concerned residents quickly called Lancaster Farm Sanctuary for help, and a team of rescuers soon arrived to aid in the rescue. We set up a pen to try and get him. Neighbors put up trail cams and did their best. So he's just walking around. The Bent Creek residents tried for weeks to lure the pig into the pen, but he evaded all their attempts and eventually left the neighborhood for good. Yeah, he's such a smart uh, ungulate. The pig, later named Petey, stopped appearing on the neighbors' trail cameras, leaving the rescuers at LFS even more worried about his safety. Until they received a call from another group of neighbors a few miles away, who then showed up in East Petersburg. Lucky for him, once again, kind neighbors in that area started working together to try and help secure him. Oh,
Oh, the
okay,
pictures
so
further back were better. That's kind of blurred.
yeah, he's definitely well fed though.
Wait, is that the same?
Yeah, he looks larger in that other instance, but I also thought maybe it was a female. Maybe he is a male. Okay. Just like the folks in Bent Creek, a group of East Petersburg residents banded together to help catch PD once and for all. The group, consisting of of you guys, worked tirelessly for days to win PD over. Despite his skittish demeanor, one kind woman named Karen did an amazing job of slowly earning his trust with food and water, and even got close enough to hand feed him. Okay, so let's see. Yeah. Oh, I think that's at the sanctuary.
Well, they said they had a cage for him.
Once Speedy was comfortable enough to eat from Karen's hands, the team was able to implement the last part of their rescue plan. Then last night, our friend Tom, who also lives in East Pete, set up our pen in Karen's yard, and the two of them managed to secure Petey this morning.
Oh, no. I mean, no.
Eh,
Come on.
oh, so this is a very active pig despite its, weight. It really does add character
Well, at
to the
least there's
neighborhood.
video now.
Um,
Maybe he was just starving at that point.
yeah, yeah, he could have been pretty hungry. Yeah, yeah, he just looks pretty,
Was
pretty
that
calm.
someone's pet?
I bet it was, or, yeah, somebody, who knows? He seems pretty calm.
Was that the end? No.
Yeah, he's taking slow steps, so he's, pretty relaxed.
Hmm.
He was captured near a very busy road, and we can't imagine how much time he has spent on high alert, these past many weeks. Oh, he's going for a sprint,
He's trying to get that weight down.
like, gotta avoid those coyotes 'cause they're roaming in that region.
Where is this?
Pennsylvania? While P certainly had an exhausting few weeks running from county to county, it may not have all been traumatizing for the sweet boy. In fact, there were rumors that he may have made a few friends along the way. I heard a few times he was playing with people's cats and dogs. Yeah, well, we were seeing that in the video.
Isn't that common for pigs?
Yeah. Let's see. So, oh well, we already saw that. Okay. Well, I'm glad he got rescued. And he didn't get run over.
Okay, this one to me looked interesting because we were speaking about it the other day.
Okay, from livescience.com, Asian golden cat, the feline of many costumes, have plucked birds before eating them. Well, I mean, you could say different species of cats will do this, but maybe it's more peculiar with the Asian golden cat. So let's see.
I didn't know they did that.
Takes down buffalo calves, yeah, fawns or baby deer, small muntjac deer. So let's see. Asian golden cats, they get to somewhere around 20 to 30 pounds or somewhere around 12 kilograms.
He
So
was
let's
pretty
see.
big.
Okay, let's see. Where? What? Okay, so species can live up to 20 years at altitude from sea level to 14,050 feet or 4,282 meters. Oh, we saw this way back. Yeah.
Oh, so-
Yeah, but well, this was earlier this year though. Um, yeah, a few months ago, and it crossed trail camera in some national park, I believe, over in Thailand.
Can we just go forward?
Yeah. Oh, so we'll go to the next article. So, from the independent.co.uk, In-N-Out employee finds large python trying to order at the drive-through 50 miles from home. Henny the python vanished from mile home 50 miles away from the burger joint more than a month ago. Let me guess, it's in Florida. Hungry snake in Southern California. Okay, nope. Found its way into an In-N-Out burger joint miles away from home.
Sorry, I just thought it sounded
Apparently on the hunt for a tasty bite. I got a feeling that snake's going to feel horrible after that, unless he decided to keep out the fries. But anyway, employees at the Monrovia outlet discovered the surprising python on the premises. According to the Animal Rescue Center, which recovered the large reptile, news of the snake sighting Monday soon led to local headlines, which ultimately led to the animal being reunited with its relieved owners, who live over 50 miles away from where it was found. That's a very well-fed snake. He is fat.
How did it move 50 miles?
Yeah, I'm kinda wondering somebody picked it up. Spotting their pet on TV, the family contacted Pasadena Humane, which provides animal care and services for homeless and owned animals in the greater Los Angeles area. This probably happens a lot in the region. They said the snake named Henny disappeared from her home in San Bernardino on August 11th, more than a month before she turned up at the drive-thru. So, Pasadena Humane said in a Facebook post that staff had contacted them after finding the beautiful creature, which they said appeared to have been well cared for. After Henny was reunited with her family, the organization said, "We are not sure how she made it from San Bernardino all the way to Monrovia, but they have been reunited." Okay, well, that's good to hear. I was really thinking they gave it like a burger. I was like, well, wonder how that digested. So it was somewhere around 3.6 pounds or a little less than a kilogram, and somewhere around 3 to 4 feet in length or about a meter. Mm, looks much bigger in the picture. Okay, well, I'm, glad he I don't know, might still have digestive issues, but, let's go to the next one. So from discoverwildlife.com, 15 animal mother and baby photos that could be any parent with their child. Okay. Okay, so there's mother orangutan with her child. Or is this Borneo? Oh, Kalimantan, Indonesia. Could be another region. Maybe it's another part of Sumatra. See, what are these Eurasian wolves? Nope. Well, we have no idea. Possibly. I don't think these are North American wolves. What's this? A Kodiak? Coastal brown bear family at Lake Clark National Park. So I'm guessing these are all from this year. Is this a is this a bowhead whale? No, humpback. Let's see. It's off the coast of Hawaii with her calf. Yeah, so she just gave birth to that calf. It's a very small calf. Okay, where is this? Adjacent to Mount Kilimanjaro. And well, okay, it's not right next to it. I was maybe Tsavo East or Tsavo West. Not, wait, you saying those right? Yeah. National Park over in Southern Kenya. Instead, it's the Masai Mara. So it's the northern part of the Serengeti ecosystem. And this looks like it's also taking place during the dry season. Oh, it's just brown everywhere. Not a lot of nutrients. Very hard for the calves at this stage. So what do we have? The Magellanic penguins, over in Chile. It looks like a
They're in
very
Chile?
yeah.
The
Um, this specific I think it's a certain macaque species. So let's see, a baby toad macaque over in Watu National Park in Sri Lanka. What is this? Three-toed sloth? Brown-throated three-toed sloth. Somewhere in Costa Rica. So, well, meerkats somewhere in the Kalahari Desert over maybe some part of southern Botswana, it can be Namibia, maybe part of South Africa.
Did you tell me those things devastate things, or am I confusing with something else?
Meerkats have it seems to be out of, like, I guess, non-people mammals, um, the most, what is it? Like, homicides on their own kind, or at least when it comes to, just um interspecies conflict. I think 18 to 20% of meerkat deaths are from other meerkats. So
Okay. It's not what I was
Timon's
thinking about, but okay.
Timon's rare. Let's see. Okay, they could be anywhere. This could be off the coast of Svalbard or Alaska. Okay, so this female and her cubs are off the Chukchi Sea, so that's in between Russia and Alaska. So it could be anywhere within that region. It's a large area. Um, Guessing this could also be in some area of Tanzania or Kenya where these giraffes are. I was
gonna
guessing
say,
in
where
West
are
Sector.
they?
Rothschild's giraffes. I don't think they're Maasai. I'm forgetting if this are a distinct subspecies of one of the species. I can't distinct specifically where they are. So just Nork and her calf.
That's a big baby.
So some sea otter
That's cute.
could be off the coast of Alaska, British Columbia, California. We know they're terrorizing the coasts over there now. Hopefully, it would be nice if they could fight off the rabid sea lions in the region.
How does it
Okay, yep, and this is over in Monterey, California.
how do they float with the baby on
Um,
top?
yeah, it's the extreme buoyancy. Um, it's just not hitting me at the moment. More macaques. Parent birds, that's specific. Okay, we don't know who this is.
That's it.
That's it.
Next one.
Yep.
Doing some work. Mhm. Okay.
Okay, from BBC.com, some of the funniest animal pics of the year so far. Those bird ones are pretty good. Of course, the Gippsland water dragon in Australia wandering along the Mur Murrumbidgee River. Let's see. So they're just looking for insects. Let's see.
But
The mud skippers.
they're kind of funny.
And this guy, yeah, the white-tailed sea eagle. You can find these guys off the coast of eastern Russia as well as different parts of Japan.
He looks so happy and excited.
Yeah, they'll actually go over to fishing boats and take some fish. Or compete with brown bears in some instances.
How big
I think that wingspan's somewhere around 8 feet. So let's see. Whoa. So the Galapagos iguana and this thing.
or we can't blow this up into
A lava lizard. Okay. So it's over on Fernandina Island in the Galapagos Islands. So where is this?
why is this funny?
This could be somewhere over in Zambia,
Oh,
maybe, or Zimbabwe.
That's
Oh,
why
right here. Okay, I'm gonna help you up. You got it? Almost.
let me sniff your butt.
So, it doesn't say where they are. Somewhere off Antarctica.
Everybody's going swimming.
Yeah, nutty Gen 2 penguins, or maybe not Antarctica, over in Argentina, possibly. Oh, it says the Numeric Channel, so near Antarctica, so I guess it's a more southern population. Looks like we have a western lowland gorilla popping up in Rwanda? Is that maybe I'm confusing with the eastern lowland gorilla.
Says Rwanda.
That's it. Yeah, gorillas are mostly herbivorous, but they will go after different species of ants and termites, possibly to help dilute the poison that they contain or the different toxins of the plants that they feed on. But they will also go to the mineral licks that the forest elephants in the region, as well as not the eastern, the western bongo or lowland mongo feed on. So that orange striped antelope.
Okay, I did this. I know you did a video on it, but there's some different pictures in here. So
Okay. So from petapixel.com, photographer brings drone on cruise ship, finds polar bears living in abandoned buildings. So this is in that small island off the coast of northeastern Russia. A small population of polar bears just simply spends the summer and part of the fall here. So ice freezes over, and, um, I believe this is also adjacent to the Chukchi. It's towards the, northwest end of it. Anyway, this looks like a very healthy polar bear. He's just, looking at the odd view.
Is that one stretching or just enjoying the sun?
Yeah, he just seems to be enjoying the sun. They definitely have quite a bit of weight on. I'm not sure what time of year this is, but, they seem to be, wow, doing quite well.
They
Yeah.
have seals there?
There is a small population of seals in the area as well as walrus that they could potentially feed on, but they're probably more likely just to wait for whale carcasses to be beached unless none appear, then they might feed on the seals or walruses if
Are
they.
these all males?
Yeah, they're pretty tolerant of each other, more so than the females in many cases. Especially females with cubs, they do not like being amongst each other. And, even when they're trying to avoid the males, they want to avoid each other as well. Yeah, he looks very, relaxed.
Who moved the wood up there?
I mean, who decided to build this area?
No, no, no.
Oh, it was him or another polar bear. He's just like Dear Diary. Oh, wow. He's definitely pretty dark.
That's what I was thinking.
I mean, their skin is black, so, and their fur is, transparent, so at certain times of the year or just depending on the circumstances, they can look much darker.
I was wondering if he's rolling around in the dirt.
It could be rolling around the dirt. I think that's it. Yeah. Oh, it's good to see that they're pretty, healthy. Oh, that was back in 2022. The other ones were much more recent, I think.
Okay, I don't know if we did this or not.
Oh, no, 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 they had been, photographed before, so those were pictures from this year. Yeah, I think we did this, another time.
Okay, then this is just goofy animal picture.
Okay, so yahoo.com, 40 funny animal pictures taken at the perfect time. They're guaranteed to make you smile. Okay, so we got a pit bull and I don't know this guy. Yep, that was a pretty good snapshot. It's like, whoa.
Get the
I'm
paparazzi away.
not sure what exactly is going on here. Maybe he's having a disapproval with a raven or something. The photo taken by Mary McGowan was the overall winner of the 2018 Comedy Wildlife Photography Awards. I forgot that these competitions exist. There's a lot of funny competitions out there. There's a rolling cheese thing over in England. So anyway, this panda plays in the snow better than most humans. Oh, I thought it was a Tamandura. I thought I was looking at an anteater from this end, not a. I thought these were the eyes and this was the nose. Okay, yeah, he looks like he's very productive.
Product.
These are kind of sad now. This is at the San Diego Zoo. This is what, SeaWorld? Okay, here we go. Oh, I remember this.
All in one.
You know he did that intentionally.
Now you have to get your ball.
This chug dog. Was that a collie? That's funny. Okay, let's see what's going on here. Hey,
They're having a conversation.
so you made breakfast? Yeah, it's on the stove. Okay. Well, um,
It's nap time.
it's actually pretty good. I think he's just yawning. That's funny.
Is that Deadpool's dog?
Yeah, that's concerning. Oh gosh, I forgot about this competition. Eldwood, seen during the 18th annual World's Ugliest Dog competition. Okay, this is a bit of an old picture, but usually I only see this. I don't think I ever saw this part. They always look shocked. You can always shock a seal. It's like, yeah. I don't you have all the consent.
Take your picture.
Interesting. Nobody tell this rhino about this. Even if it's a female. Oh, might be male. Okay. Okay, this is concerning because this sea lion could eat the king penguin, but
I was gonna say this is not gonna end well for that penguin.
yeah, that king penguin's really trying to keep his macho-ness up. Okay, I think he's feeding on a mushroom.
Does it say?
Oh, it's a cake. At the Berlin Zoo in Germany. Of course you're eating cake. Okay. Dogging its owner during the 28th annual Tompkins Square Halloween Dog Parade. How many things are there now?
The dog's wearing a costume.
Yeah. Oliver just wants to say hi. Sure.
You look tasty.
Sure.
Come on over.
Yeah. He does look pretty fat though, but seriously, this isn't new. Two flamingos combining to make a heart. Okay. The little guy is definitely unamused.
He doesn't look happy, does he?
I think I know why.
Yeah.
OJ is too cool for school. A dog named OJ wears sunglasses as he stands on the Embarcadero with his owner in San Francisco.
Who names their dog OJ?
Let's see. I thought that was Churchill. The dog knows where he's supposed to relieve himself. Wow. Let's see. Westminster Dog Show.
Wow, he looks excited.
I hope it's cool where he is. Okay.
Oh, that's neat.
Well, hopefully this is one of the elephants at a certain sanctuary and not one of those several like things in Thailand where in reality they're actually quite chained up. Um,
The ice cream.
oh, he wants the ice cream. That's funny. It's like I wonder if they're at a zoo. Okay, well, interesting. You have arms? Oh
What are we looking at?
no. Yeah,
that a
one of
dog?
these. Yeah, Commander. Why would you do this? This is sad. That's kind of gross. I thought I was looking at spaghetti for a second. Like,
Oh, it's an actor.
oh, Tom Hardy. Okay. People. Okay. Yeah, sure.
I need something to eat. I like my food processed.
Okay.
He's working hard.
Working like a dog. What? No way. Looks like this bear is about to take flight.
Sorry, everybody.
This might be off the coast of southeastern Alaska. It looks like one of the smaller coastal brown bears.
It's an angel bear.
Yep, true. Oh. Oh, that's sad.
I dropped my lunch.
Okay.
Someone's gonna get spit on.
Yeah, possibly.
What?
Rafts are tall, but not this tall. Oh, it looks like the, planes is this photoshopped?
I don't think so, but who knows?
Oh, no. Yeah, okay, you can see it where there's that part of the wing.
Okay.
See the throwing house over in Salton Sea, California. You can find these guys in many prairie ecosystems throughout the Great Plains of North America, but also all the way to California. Um, okay, I get it, but
Are they skydiving?
Surf City Surf Dog Competition. Okay, well, he looks concerned.
Mom, I didn't do it.
One of the finalists for the 2021 Comedy Wildlife Photography Awards. A small call-out Asian otter. Red kangaroo is either practicing for a choir
That's a good one.
or he's trying to copy Shakespeare, or maybe he's trying to be like that psychologist Nish, or maybe he's um yeah. Anyway,
What?
okay, what on
What?
earth?
What are they doing? Oh, they're facing the other way. I think. I think they're both looking the opposite way.
Possibly. That's funny.
Baby's like, "What are you doing?" Another thief.
Okay, well, that was quite a few interesting pictures. So, hope you enjoyed this stream. And from prehistoric to present, my name is Ethan. This is Creature Guide Live Daily News. Remember to like, comment, subscribe if you love talking about animals, and share this show with everyone you know. Because nothing is better.